All right, you sick fucks, strap yourselves in, because today
Oh, yeah.
we're diving headfirst into the shitstorm that was the life of William V, Prince of Orange.
Oh, God.
This ain't your high school history class.
No.
We're talking about the last dude to hold the big cheese position,
Right.
the stadtholder,
Yeah.
before the Dutch Republic went tits up.
Well, to be precise, he was the last hereditary stadtholder.
Nuance schmuance.
Yeah, it's a bit...
This dude was basically born with a silver spoon up his ass, right?
You could say that.
Born to rule.
He inherited the title of Prince of Orange at the ripe old age of 3 when his daddy, William V, kicked the bucket.
3 years old.
Yeah.
Shit, I was still crapping my pants at that age.
Right.
This kid was probably playing with his tiny scepter while his advisors were busy screwing up the country.
Not quite. He had a series of regents ruling in his place. His mother, his grandmother, even his sister got in on the action.
So a bunch of relatives squabbling over who gets to wear the big boy pants until little Willie grows up. Sounds like a recipe for disaster.
It was a complex power dynamic, to say the least.
Oh, I bet.
And lurking in the background was this shady character, Duke Louis Ernest of Brunswick-Lüneburg.
Hang on, this Duke dude sounds like a real piece of work.
He did have a disproportionate
What was his deal?
amount of influence even after William came of age.
So basically pulling the
It
string.
was basically the puppet master.
I knew it.
Pulling the strings from behind the scenes, there were even rumors of a secret agreement,
What?
the Act Van Consulenschaft, that gave him way too much power.
Sounds like some backroom bullshit to me.
You could,
So Willie was basically a figurehead, a glorified mascot,
essentially.
while this Duke dude was running the show.
Although William did receive some fancy titles and honors to keep him occupied.
Like what?
He was made a Knight of the Garter in 1752.
A shiny bauble to distract him from the fact that he was being played like a fiddle.
You could see it that way.
Classic move.
Hmm.
So when did Willie finally get to wear the big boy pants and call the shots?
He officially took over as stadtholder in 1766.
1766.
Okay. But of course, the Duke of Brunswick continued to whisper in his ear.
Of course.
And the political scene in the Dutch Republic was already a complete shit show.
Yeah, revolutions were all the rage back then. The Americans were throwing tea parties in the harbor.
Yeah,
The French were sharpening their guillotines. Not exactly a peaceful time to be in charge.
indeed. And the Dutch Republic found itself caught in the middle of this global power struggle.
Oh boy.
Officially, they were neutral during the American Revolution.
Okay.
But William's sympathies lay with the British.
Probably because he was sucking at the teat of the British monarchy. Right. Always good to keep your sponsors happy.
Well, he was certainly aligned with the British politically and personally.
Yeah.
However, this pro-British stance pissed off a significant portion of the Dutch population who were sympathetic to the American cause.
So Willie was already on shaky ground, pissing off his own people by sucking up to the Brits. This is where it starts to get interesting, right?
Absolutely, because amidst all this political turmoil, a new faction emerged in the Dutch Republic, the Patriots.
Okay. The Patriot.
They were basically fed up with the whole system, the stadtholder, the elites, the whole shebang.
Sounds like they were the original Dutch badasses ready to shake things up.
Yeah.
What do they want?
They wanted to reform the government, give more power to the people,
Right.
and reduce the influence of the stadtholder and the aristocracy.
Or get rid of Willie, basically.
They were inspired by the American revolutionaries and saw the Dutch Republic as ripe for change.
So you've got Willie clinging to power, the Patriots gaining momentum,
Yeah.
and the whole country on the verge of imploding. Sounds like a recipe for a fucking bloodbath.
It was a volatile situation, and William's response to this growing unrest wasn't exactly brilliant.
Let me guess he did something stupid.
Well, you'll have to wait until the next segment to find out.
Oh, come on.
But let's just say his decision-making skills left a lot to be desired.
Okay, cliffhanger. I can't wait.
So last we left off our boy Willie. He was facing some serious heat from these patriot assholes who were basically calling for his head on a platter.
Those Patriots sound like they were a real pain in Willie's ass. What the hell did he do to piss them off so much?
Well, aside from being the embodiment of the old corrupt system they wanted to overthrow, Willie made a few strategic blunders that really fanned the flames of discontent.
Let's hear it, spill the tea.
Yeah.
What kind of fuck-ups are we talking about?
First off, remember the Fourth Anglo-Dutch War?
Oh, yeah, vaguely.
The one where the Dutch got their asses handed to them by the Brits? Well, Willie's unwavering support for the British during that conflict didn't exactly win him any popularity points back home.
Yeah, siding with the guys who are kicking your ass is never a good look, especially when your own people are rooting for the other side.
Exactly. It made him look weak, out of touch, and more concerned with pleasing his British buddies than with the well-being of his own country.
Talk about a PR nightmare. What else did he do to screw things up?
Well, his economic policies weren't exactly a hit either.
Let me guess, he raised taxes.
The Dutch economy was in a slump,
Okay.
and his attempts to address the situation were seen as ineffective and even harmful to the working class.
So he was basically screwing over the little guy while lining the pockets of his rich buddies. Sounds familiar.
Let's just say that his policies didn't exactly endear him to the common folk who were already struggling to make ends meet.
So we've got a weak leader, unpopular policies, and a bunch of pissed-off patriots who are ready to burn the whole system to the ground. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, Willie, being the brilliant strategist that he was, decided to run away.
Well, he just bailed like a little bitch.
Pretty much in 1785, he packed his bags and hightailed it out of The Hague, the political center of the Republic,
Seriously.
and set up shop in a quieter province.
What a cowardly move. Did he think the problem would just magically disappear if he ignored it?
Maybe he was hoping the Patriots would just get bored and go home, but of course that's not what happened.
I bet those patriots were having a field day with Willie running scared. What did they do while he was hiding out in the countryside?
They didn't waste any time. They continued to organize, build up their forces, and basically took over. The Hague, they formed their own militias called the Vreecorps and started flexing their muscles.
So Willie's authority was basically crumbling while he was busy sipping tea and eating crumpets in some provincial backwater.
You could say that, and to make matters worse, his attempts to use military force against the Patriots backfired spectacularly.
This could be good. Tell me he got his ass kicked.
He did. He tried to send in the army to squash the rebellion, but the Patriots were surprisingly well organized and put up a fierce resistance. They even managed to strip him of some of his powers.
Karma, bitch, ain't it? So Willie's plan to crush the rebellion blew up in his face, and now he's even weaker than before. What a loser.
It wasn't his finest hour, and while all this was going down, his wife, Wilhelmina, decided to get involved.
The miss is always a wild card. What did she do?
She was a feisty one, that Wilhelmina. She tried to rally support for her hubby and went to The Hague to try and negotiate with the Patriots.
Did she think she could just waltz in there and charm those revolutionaries into submission?
Maybe she underestimated the situation, or maybe she overestimated her own charm. Either way, it didn't go well.
Let me guess, the Patriots weren't exactly receptive to her peacemaking efforts.
Not quite. They basically put her under house arrest.
Holy shit, they arrested the stadtholder's wife. That's some next-level disrespect.
It was a bold move, and it showed just how much power the Patriots had gained.
So Willie's on the run, his wife's under arrest, and the country's on the brink of civil war. This is where it gets really juicy, right?
Oh, it gets even juicier because now we're going international. Wilhelmina's brother, who just so happened to be the King of Prussia, was not happy about his sister being treated like a common criminal.
I bet he wasn't. Nobody messes with a king's sister and gets away with it.
Exactly. So Big Bro decides to intervene. And by intervene, I mean send in the Prussian army to kick some patriot ass.
Oh, shit. So now we've got a full-blown foreign invasion on our hands. This is escalating quickly.
It was a complete shit show. The Prussians marched in, crushed the Patriot Rebellion, and restored Willie to power.
So Willie gets his ass saved by his brother-in-law. Talk about embarrassing.
It wasn't exactly a victory he could brag about, but hey, at least he was back in charge, right?
For now, but knowing Willie's track record, I'm guessing this ain't the end of his troubles.
You'd be right. Remember that little thing called the French Revolution we mentioned earlier?
Oh, yeah?
Well, it's about to come knocking on Willie's door.
I have a bad feeling about this.
You should, because the French Revolution is going to change everything.
All right, motherfuckers. We're back and ready to finish this shitstorm of a story. Last we left off, Willie was back in charge. But with the French Revolution brewing, things are about to get a whole lot worse.
You got that right. The French Revolution sent shockwaves across Europe.
Big time.
And those shockwaves were about to hit the Dutch Republic like a tsunami.
So the French are on the move, spreading their revolutionary bullshit all over the place. What does Willie do? Does he finally grow a pair and prepare for war?
Well, he tried to play it safe at first. The Dutch Republic declared neutrality, hoping to stay out of the French mess. But Willie Ever, the loyal lapdog of the British monarchy, couldn't resist poking the bear.
What did he do? Send the French a strongly worded letter.
Worse, he joined the first coalition against France. You know, that grand alliance of European powers who thought they could crush the revolution before it spread?
Oh, Willie, you dumb motherfucker.
Hee.
Didn't you learn anything from the last time you sided with the losers in a war?
Apparently not. So in 1795, the French army, fresh off their victory against those stuffy Austrian assholes, decides to pay the Dutch Republic a little visit.
Uh-oh.
And Willie, well, he does what he does best.
Runs away.
Got it. He flees to England, leaving the Dutch Republic to fend for itself. The French waltz in set up a puppet state called the Batavian Republic, and Willie's reign is officially over.
What a pathetic end to a pathetic reign. So Willie's sipping tea in exile, probably bitching about the shitty weather in England. What does he do next? Does he just give up and accept his fate as a washed-up has-been?
Well, he wasn't completely out of the game. Remember those Dutch colonies he tried to get to side with the British during the war?
Yeah, the whole Q letters fiasco. What about it?
Well, some of those colonies actually did switch sides and swore allegiance to the British. So Willie still had a few cards up his sleeve, even in exile.
So he's trying to pull strings from afar, hoping to regain some of his lost power. Did it work?
Not really. The Batavian Republic was firmly under French control, and Willie's influence was waning even in the colonies. But he wasn't ready to throw in the towel just yet.
This dude is like a cockroach, impossible to kill.
He was persistent, I'll give him that.
Yeah.
In 1799, the British, along with their Russian allies, decided to launch an invasion of the Netherlands, hoping to kick the French out and restore the old order.
Hold on, another invasion. Didn't we already have one of those with the Prussians?
This time it was the Brits and the Russians teaming up to take on the French. And Willie, eager to prove he wasn't just a washed-up old fart, jumped at the chance to join the fight.
So he's putting on his big boy pants again, hoping to ride the coattails of the British Army back to power.
You could say that. But unfortunately for Willie, the invasion was a complete disaster.
Of course it was. This dude couldn't win a game of checkers against a 5-year-old.
The Anglo-Russian forces were poorly coordinated, the Dutch people weren't exactly thrilled about being liberated, and the whole operation ended in a humiliating defeat.
So another epic fail for Willie. What did he do after that? Did he finally accept that his days of ruling were over?
He had no other choice. The Treaty of Amiens in 1802 formally recognized the Batavian Republic, and Willie was forced to relinquish his claim to the Dutch throne.
Ouch, that's gotta sting. So he's officially out of the game, no chance of a comeback. What did he do with the rest of his miserable life?
He lived out his remaining days in exile, bouncing around between Germany and England. He died in Brunswick in 1806, a bitter and disillusioned old man.
So Willie kicks the bucket, forgotten and irrelevant. What a sad ending to a pathetic excuse for a ruler.
It wasn't a glorious end, that's for sure. But his story is a reminder that even those born into privilege and power can fuck it up spectacularly.
Ain't that the truth? So what's the final verdict on William V. Prince of Orange? Was he a complete asshat?
He was a product of his time, a man born into a system that was already crumbling around him. He made some bad decisions, showed some serious weakness, and ultimately failed to adapt to the changing world.
So a classic example of an incompetent ruler who couldn't handle the heat. A reminder that even a prince can be a total fuck-up.
Precisely. And that's our deep dive into the life and times of William V. Prince of Orange. A tale of power, incompetence, and ultimate failure.
All right, you sick fucks. That's it for this episode. We hope you enjoyed this train wreck of a story. Remember to check out the show notes for more info and be sure to follow us on social media for updates on future episodes.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and don't be a Willy.
Cheers to that.